Hello collectors, Joe Prodzik here. Welcome to the latest episode of the unboxing experience. I've got Quang Tran behind the camera. Today we're going to be unboxing the Wolverine brown costume premium format figure from Sideshow Collectibles. Now, Sideshow has released a couple of different Wolverine statues over the years. They have their yellow and blue costume premium format figure, they have their Comiquette, and they have their legendary scale Wolverine statue. Again, yellow and blue costume. But the brown and yellow costume is the Wolverine that I grew up with. I remember not liking the brown and yellow costume as a kid. I was always waiting for them to return with the yellow and blue costume. But as I've gotten older, when I think about Wolverine, I think about comic book Wolverine, and I think about that yellow and brown costume. So I missed out on those previous Wolverine statues, so I was really excited to get this new premium format figure from Sideshow. This is the exclusive edition, so it has a switch out head and it has a switch out samurai sword. So let's get started and let's get this guy open. Alright, so I've got the box open. I did want to make some notes about the packaging and the box. Surprisingly, Wolverine had Sideshow had polystyrene at the corners. It didn't look like they intentionally made polystyrene this time for this box, but they did have what looked like makeshift corners there, which surprised me because the size of the box wasn't all that big. So I wasn't expecting an added layer of protection, but they did have that added layer of protection with this statue, and so I wanted to make a note of that. The art box really isn't anything to write home about. In this case, it's basically a comic-like version of a picture of the statue. So it does have the nice Wolverine sort of text there, but it's pretty basic and pretty plain as far as boxes go. And really, who really cares anyway? Again, I'm going to put it back in the shipper, throw it in the garage, and never look at it until I have to move the piece. So just looking at the statue inside the box, doesn't look like I have any broken pieces. So let me show you what's inside and how he looks inside, and then we'll take him out and put this piece together. So here's what the statue looks inside the box. You can see no broken pieces. This typical Sideshow packaging. Looks like he's been given plenty of room to move around in. Got a couple of arrows here. Looks like the samurai sword here. Wolverine, both portraits, clawed hand, and a couple of more arrows. So overall, looks like everything is okay. Looks like the paint is going to be looking good on this. So let's get this guy out of the box and put together. So one of the handy dandy tips I actually learned from watching the BMR Productions videos, another guy out there who does reviews, is he doesn't cut the top of the box of polystyrene. That way you can just flip it over and flip it back, and you don't have to fuss with those boxes too much. So I always have a little makeup brush when unboxing my statues. This is so I can dust away any stray foam that may be on the statues. And this is what I use to clean my statues up anyway. So let's start by getting this base out of here. It's a winter theme. Okay. Not too bad. On the snow front, let's see. Here's the figure for Wolverine. They positioned him in such a way that his claw is not going to get affected. It does look like it has a, you can see a slight bend to that middle claw, which I'm not going to mess with too much. What I would do to fix that is just blow dry it for a little bit and kind of move it into place. So Wolverine, it's gonna go. I think right there. Does look like my front leg peg doesn't want to sit in there too well. Now I can't get him back off the base. Maybe if I could push him in a little bit more. There he goes. So, there you go. A little bit of pressure there for Wolverine. Gotta get his second claw on there. Looks like a pretty good fit there. On the arm seam, not too big of a gap, but again, this side is going to be facing away from us, so we don't have to really worry about that gap at all. Paint looks very clean. He does have some texture on his uniform here. His boots have some texture on the soles. And paint job looks really clean overall so far. A little bit of overlap on the snow, which should be there. You know, the snow kind of drifting on to the what looks like a Japanese bridge here. So now we got the portraits here. I'll first start with the masked portrait. And paint looks really good on it. Teeth. It's always something you want to check out with the Sideshow statues at the teeth. I gotta say, they look pretty good. Yeah. Take a look at that. I'm really digging it so far. Line work is super clean on this guy. Super clean. So there's the masked portrait of Wolverine there. That looks like we have some arrows that are going to be put in various places here. Looks like they got little holes and they slip in at the right angle. So we got 4 little what I'll call arrow shafts, because they're not full arrows because they don't have the heads, because the heads go into the bases. So you can see the little arrow shafts there. Looks like I have another hole here. And so saying that, I'm wondering and thinking about like, so if these were real arrowheads and arrows that go into the wood, wouldn't they sort of split the wood a little bit? And kind of some of these are kind of close to the edge, so if they did have an arrowhead and head, would it be splitting the wood and actually sticking out kind of where they have these openings? So they do feel not too fragile, but I would say that they're probably going to break with pretty easily. So here is Wolverine. Gotta say, paintwork is really clean. No sloppiness. Line work is really good. Even in the face, around the mask and the eyes, where his mask meets his face, I don't see any straight lines of paint or anything. And so, really happy to have this statue in my collection. Here is the Wolverine premium format figure. Now let's get some parts switched out. So let's take off his masked head. And put on the maskless portrait, which not everybody is a fan of. He kind of looks real crazy in this face. And I do like that he has the back, on his back he has the cowl or his mask kind of pushed off to the side there as if he was wearing it, and it's like attached to the back of the costume. So overall paint on this is, again, really good, really solid. Teeth are great. Eyes are correct and not googly at all. And there it is on the statue itself. Now we have the bit of exclusive here. The samurai sword. So Wolverine's claws do feel metal. Samurai sword. Yeah, it might be the same type of material that they're using. Doesn't feel like it's too solid of a metal, but it does have a somewhat metallic feel to it. So let's put that samurai sword on. Very bloody samurai sword. So there it goes, snaps right into place. So there is Wolverine in all his glory. I gotta say, I really needed a Wolverine statue in my collection, and I really am glad that I got this one. It has a nice Japanese style to the base, and it fits that original Japanese Wolverine story of his first solo comic, where Wolverine goes to Japan, so it fits that story really well. It's got the samurai sword, or the alternate, both claws. This is one statue. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to display it, with what portrait, with what hand options. So this might be one that I need to switch out as I'm dusting. So I'll be doing a full review of this statue in a couple of weeks. I'm going to grab Quang Tran and let him give you his unbiased opinion of the statue, because right now I've got new statue fever, right? Just got the statue. Of course, I'm over the moon of it, because there are no problems on this that I could spot so far. Some people might not like the sculpt of his faces. That's been a complaint, but as of right now, I'm really digging both of them. Really digging the overall design. Quality of the paint is good. Quality of the sculpt is good. Lots of nice little details. Textured costume. So, I'm over the moon about it right now. So I'm going to bring in Quang Tran. He's going to give you his unbiased opinion of it. He's kind of been on the hate train with everything lately. Anytime I take him to see a movie or anything like that, he's just, it's okay. So let's see what he thinks of this Wolverine statue. And then I'll take some close-up video for it and throw it at the end of the video. So I'll be right back with Quang. So Quam Tran is here with me, and he's going to give us his thoughts on Wolverine.
So when I was looking at this piece, I didn't see Joe put it together, so it was kind of interesting to see how it is, just fully put it on already instead of putting on the pieces like we did for the Arkham Knight. What I really like about this picture is the suit. Looks good. I really like it. For me, I'm more of a fan of the one that's on my shirt, but this one is great too because it goes going back to the classics, you know. The paint on that's something that I've been seeing about on a little bit. I did see a little bit of a symbiote Spidey, so I was a little scared about the paints were going to be a little bit messed up.
But you mean on the Amazing Spidey?
No, on the symbiote Spidey.
Symbiote Spidey.
I saw somebody post some on the collectors group and seen there's a little mess up on the Spider-Man. So I was kind of worried when Joe told me that he got the Wolverine, that Wolverine might have a little bit of problems. So far, everything is really good. I really love the details on the back of him. When you see the piece close up in person, when Joe's going to show you, is you can see the textures on that, and that's a really huge touch because, you know, when you're looking at Wolverine, it's all about super buff, you know, and especially when he's going against the Hulk. So that's really great. Love the arrows. The huge detail on it too is that it goes black, brown, and it goes all the way around, so it's consistent. That was really, really surprising for me because I thought maybe Sideshow might get a little lazy on that, but Sideshow always done great, so it's not so bad on that.
And I want to point out some more details because sitting here looking at it, you can see it has on the bridge, it has these little sort of Japanese emblems on the side.
That's
really cool.
Really nice. I would just say emblems or textures.
And then even you could see the textures of the rock is really good.
That's the huge thing that I was about to point out as well, is that the amount of detail on this piece is just outstanding. The only thing, something that was really hard for me when seeing this piece on the previews would be the snow a little bit. It looks good. A little bit of it kind of seems like a little spray painted-ish on it. It kind of reminds you a little bit of a snow globe, but it's not. You will if you see up close in person or in the pictures that Joe will show you, is that there's a little bit of part where it's kind of like all over the place. I'm not sure if that's a paint kind of thing, but overall it still looks really great. I like how when the wood right here on this side, you'll see it's a little cut. Amount of detail on that is really phenomenal. For me, what I really like about the portrait is I like the mask on more than the exclusive one, which Joe was saying earlier that it's not, you know, a lot of people are not a fan of it. I do like it, but I just feel like it fits more, especially on this piece, just like us displaying it. The other thing that Joe might get a little bit surprised on is that I actually like the katana on this hand than the actual claw, because I feel like it's a little different than what we are used to seeing. And that's kind of something you want to have, especially when you're having a piece in your collection. You want something kind of different and unique. And especially, I know Joe's been wanting a Wolverine piece, so it's really great that he has the choices to do that, which is a huge reason why I love, you know, the fact that Sideshow gives us options and all that. The last thing I want to point out is I had a little bit of a problem on how they painted the back, because I was thinking on this part right here that it should be kind of matched on, but like, you know what I mean? Like identical to the butt crack. That's the only thing that I feel is a little off, but everything else other than that, because like it should line up in a certain way. Joe will probably show you a picture of it, but...
Well, what Kwong is saying is Wolverine has a seam that runs down his spine, the seam in the costume, and it's not matching up with the seam in his butt.
Yeah.
But...
he is moving in a dynamic pose, so in a way it kind of makes sense.
So it makes sense if it's not one piece. So Wolverine has a separate pair of shorts that he puts on and a separate shirt that he puts on. Then it makes sense. They don't have to line up. So that's what he's talking about a little bit, is that seam isn't quite straight. But if the shorts are separate, you know, my shirt at work gets untucked and crazy all the time.
Which is totally reasonable. Other than that, this is a really nice piece. The paint on this one, I was really surprised on because it's really dead on. So this is a piece that I would like. And for me, again, when you see that picture with the katana, it looks really great.
Yeah, I really like it. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to display it with which options, but I am super glad that I ordered it. I did really need a Wolverine in my collection. The previous premium format, the yellow and blue, I also really liked. But that one was mixed media.
Yeah.
So this one is fully sculpted. So it is a little bit different than that one. But I even like the maskless portrait.
Yeah. I like the fact that Joe was pointing out too, that the mask is put on the side instead of just completely gone. So that's a really nice touch when you see the piece together.
And even looking, like if you look at the mask and you see you can see the eye holes there. You can actually see
where his eyes are supposed to go.
Eye holes.
That's really good
that's
detail.
A nice little detail in there to look out for. So,
and just like what you were saying too, the teeth on that one is really good. It actually looks freaky and scary. I feel like there's a little bit of a little fang that's a little missing, but it still looks good. Because I was thinking
he does have some
one right there should be a little bit taller.
Well, Wolverine doesn't really have too pronounced fangs.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have his canines a little bit on the sharper end. A lot less pronounced than Sabretooth. And he does have it a little bit on the bottom too. You can see it a little bit. But it's not too pronounced, and I don't know if it should be. But overall, I'm really happy with it. Really glad I picked it up. It's actually, kind of surprising me a little bit how much I like it. You got to figure out where he's going to go in the collection, where he's going to set. Really hope Sideshow starts to do some more X-Men statues, because I'd really like to put some more with this Wolverine. And some of the classic ones I'm not really a fan of, but
I think maybe Cyclops, maybe?
Not a fan of that one. Yeah, but I would love a modern Cyclops to go with it. I would love Sideshow to revisit their X-Men statues so I can add some more X-Men to go along with this Wolverine. So thanks for joining us on this episode of the Unboxing Experience. Coming up, we have 2 more unboxings. We have Rocky, Blitzway Rocky 2, and Kwong's very first Sideshow piece that he purchased himself, the Symbiote Spider-Man.
Yep.
So make sure you subscribe to the channel to check out those unboxing videos. And then we'll also be doing full reviews of all those pieces. And we still got to do a review of the Arc of Night as well. So thanks for joining us on our show. This has been Joe Prodzik and Kwong Tran. Thanks for watching.